All right, so here's my 2012 Chevy Avalanche. I got this thing back in February. I love it. It's a great truck. It only has 40, well, when I bought it, it only had 44,000 miles on it. I've put about 3,000 or 4,000 miles on it since then. Been looking for ideas to upgrade it and modernize it. So what I've been looking at today is the taillights. So as you can see, they've got the old school bulbs in there, and nowadays everything is LED. So in an effort to sort of modernize and bring this thing up to spec, I've decided to go with the, well, let's show you. So these are the Cenfeild, however you pronounce it, LED lights. So the first thing I noticed when I took it out of the box, and I can't be filming and taking things out with hands, so I might have to just kind of stop and start. I see made in China, so I kind of immediately want to go ahead and send it back. But that's a joke, guys. Pretty much everything's made in China these days, which is sad. But hey, if they work, I don't care where they're made. So anyway, here are the old ones. I also bought these LED backup bulbs to replace these here. I think this, with the new ones, gets moved down to here. So I'm going to plug these things in so that I have bright backup lights. Okay, let me unbox and see what we got. Okay, so I'm trying to unbox these a little carefully because if they suck or I don't like them or whatever, I want to be able to pack them back up and send them back. But that looks pretty good. Packed up pretty well. Whoops, it's a little windy today. Put that in there. Let's see what we got here. Oh, okay, very impressive. Looks pretty well built. Feels solid. Let's see, we got some connectors back here. Already I see something broken. Doesn't look, it might be a big deal here. That piece broke off. I'll have to figure that out. All right, let me just evaluate what's going on here. I might be sending these back. Okay, so unfortunately, this is not a good sign with this first set. As you guys saw when I pulled it out of the box, this piece was broken off, and I realized that it goes here. So you've got this other one here that's pretty solid. It's on here. Now, I mean, I could glue it and put it on there, but you know what? It's a matter of principle. I got something that was damaged. So I'm gonna send this one back and reorder it because I do like them, and see if the replacement unit I get has any issues. So I'm gonna put this video on pause for now, and I'll start all over when I get the next set.
LED tail lights assembly has arrived.
You order from Amazon. There's a problem, you send it right back and they send you another one. So I'm going to open this up and see if everything is okay, and I got intact taillights without any broken pieces. Alright, so it's windy out here again today, so forgive the wind noise. I'm going to give this another shot. Just basically trying to do a little bit of the form. Alright, so here we go. I'm unboxing again to make sure that these LED taillights are in tip-top condition, no broken parts, nothing. So I can't film and open at the same time, so I'm going to try to crack this open, and then I'll film when I'm pulling them out of the box and see how they are. It's amazing. It's 2 days later, and it's exactly the same amount of wind as the other day. So if it's, again, very windy sound, I apologize. But here we go. All right, left side. Posts intact. Okay, let me put that over here. Let's check this other one. Posts intact. Nothing broken. Everything looks good. Okay, so I'm gonna take the old ones out, screw here, here, and here, and I'm going to get this going. I swear, every time I push the record button, the wind kicks up. But anyway, the taillights are pretty easy to remove, in case you were curious. You take those two screws out before, and then you can use like a pry tool. I just use my hands, but there's these two, well, you'll see them. It's basically like what we have over here. These things, they're basically wedged into the side of the truck here, so you just kind of pull out this way. So if you just pull it out a little bit, of course, there we go. You just slide it out like that. So you just, I'm going to disconnect those and then put the new one in. All right, so these come with absolutely no instructions. So when I replaced the LED, or I'm sorry, the taillights in my Nissan Titan, it's a lot different than this. But this has this cable here. Obviously, I don't see that over here. However, if you follow this down and you come under here, I am getting too old for this. It's this here. So if I disconnect this, I can't do it with one hand, but I believe that that's where that goes into there. It plugs in here. So let me fiddle with that and see if that's the case. All right, so I always get nervous. You know, this is what, a 13-year-old truck, plastic, you know, it gets brittle over time. But all you got to do to disconnect that is push down hard right here, and then it slides right out. So I'm going to feed that out of there and put the new one on, and we'll see what happens. So in the beginning of this video, I told you guys that I was also replacing my backup lights. So I got these LED lights off of Amazon, and those go in here. If you disconnect this, you'll see that they just go right in there. All right, so when you buy Chinese stuff off the internet, in this case Amazon, there are going to be some quality issues, or I should say fitment issues. And in this particular case, it's these posts. You'll notice that they're a little bit longer than the original posts. So this has to get cut down a little bit, maybe using a Dremel tool or a grinder or something, because if you don't, they don't fit all the way in here, and you end up having a little bit of a gap, and you can't even actually secure the tail lights, you know, because the screw holes aren't going to line up because it's too far out this side. So that's a bit of a bummer that I actually have to cut this down a little bit to make it match this so that they actually fit into the truck. So Cenfeild, if you're looking at this, very bad design. So I wasn't kidding with this wind. It's ridiculous. I'm just trying to do some work outside. I hardly ever come out here, and now when I try, I mean, you're killing me, wind. Give me a break. Anyway, what I'm going to try to do here is I'm taking the posts off the old tail light, and I'm going to replace the yeah, see, there's a definite size difference there, just from a little tiny bit. Let's see if that works so I don't have to cut anything down. Well, my idea to replace these may not work. The Chinese made one is on the right, the OEM one is on the left. As you can see, the thread is much longer on the one on the left, so I don't know how deep the threading hole is here to be able to get this flush. So if I can't get that to go in there when I'm pointing, I am going to have to shave that down a little bit. All right, these Chinese like it's not the metal posts that are the problem. It's the supports that are the problem. They're too long compared to the OEM. Measure, if I can get this with one hand. It's rudimentary measuring, I know, guys. It's about 1/4 of an inch on the Chinese crapola. Look at that. It sticks out, shit, almost another 3/4 of an inch. So that means this post here has to be shaved down 3/4 of an inch for it to match the OEM length. I'm not even sure I want to do that. All right, so if you do nothing, this is the gap you're going to be left with. Okay? So my only idea to measure this thing right, to be able to eliminate this gap, is to actually measure the gap here at the top and measure it down here at the bottom. And that's exactly the amount of space or amount of length that I need to shave off this post. I'm able to get this off. These posts here, these plastic posts, not this, but this post here, on the top and on the bottom, or vice versa. Ooh, these are a pain in the ass. All right, so I cut these posts down. I'm gonna put these, well, actually those are pieces that I cut off. I'm gonna put these nips on and see if we have a flush mount. All right, at first glance, it looks like I succeeded. Man, the build quality is terrible on these. I mean, it looks like it's nice and flush here, which it is. I mean, I got a little tiny bit of a gap, but I mean, it's no more than what the OEM was. But if you come over here, you can see that the screw holes aren't exactly lined up. I mean, if I push it in a little bit, I could probably get the screws in there. But what I don't like is this kind of a gap here. I mean, I didn't check what the OEM one looked like, I don't remember, but that just, I mean, to me, that should be more flush. So I think what I might do is shave just a hair off those posts again and try again. All right, left side's in, plugged in. If I hit the lock button, if I hit the unlock button, I don't know about that startup animation stuff. I guess that's maybe when the lights are on, or if I turn the truck on, I'll deal with that later. But that's the left side. I'm gonna do the right side. Obviously, I'm not gonna go into the same level of detail because it's the same setup unless I find something that's completely contrary to what this side was. So that's pretty much it. I'll wrap it up with when they're both installed. I'll take a video and see if there's any other issues. Okay, there were no surprises on the right side. Everything was fine. And as I said at the top of this video, I was looking to do anything I could to modernize my vehicle, make it look more up to date. From an aesthetic standpoint, these taillights definitely do it. I mean, they look sharp. These are the smoked lens. So if I hit the unlock button, here we go. Of course, they were doing the startup animation before. I don't know why they're doing it now. All right, so now that it's dusk, let's see if we can tell the quality of the light. Let's see, let me go ahead and press unlock. Okay, so it has that startup animation. Those backup lights are definitely a lot brighter. Pretty cool. Lock it. All right. So here's my impression on these. They definitely make the truck look a little bit more modern. I mean, the smoked lenses with the white paint definitely brings it up to 2024 standard. But they were a pain in the ass to install. Say that a little bit of some quality control issues. Had to do a little bit of modification to make them fit. And if I'm being honest, they probably didn't look like they were made the best. But they do look cool. Obviously, I'm keeping the old ones close by and handy. If I ever have to switch back, I will. It's not a big deal. But for now, they're kind of fun and cool to have. So anyway, Cenfeild LED tail lights. I'll put the link in my description. Here we go.